Hannah Mann was actually so emotional after the verdict was read that she left the courtroom, while Brian, not so much. He showed very little emotion when the guilty verdict was handed down. Yeah, I'm out here at the Circle K near Old Railroad Bay Road and Wall-Triana Highway, where a shooting happened just after 8 p.m. this evening. The Madison County Sheriff's Office did confirm to News 19 that one woman is dead from those gunshots. As businesses prepare for new hemp laws that will go into effect on Tuesday, it'll mean massive changes. But for others, like the Green Plug here in Decatur, it means the end of the road. Here at Rickwood Field, every seat is legendary, but there's just a couple that are a little more special. Over my shoulder here in the left field wall is the scoreboard, where there's some of the most unique seats in the house.
Josiah, you mean to tell me the defense called no witnesses today?
Ben, that's right. It appeared that they had 2 witnesses to call in the audience, but ultimately chose not to do so. The jurors did. You guys had the St. Louis Cardinals and San Francisco Giants. Any chance we see Major League Baseball back here soon? You said this is your first professional opportunity. What does it mean to you to get to continue the dream of playing football?
Growing up, this was one of my dreams.
Devastating scene here in Muscle Shoals as strong storms brought down many trees onto mobile homes here at the Ponders Trailer Park. Saturday night storms heavily impacted those living in this trailer park. The destruction has left people like Luis Trejo terrified.
I'm feeling lost. Everything's, I can't even salvage anything. The only thing I could really find is just like my chargers or whatever. My cat's missing. I don't know. It's a lot of things running around my mind. I just really can't comprehend like the mess this is.
Trejo was inside his family's trailer when 4 trees fell on it. He believed after the first tree fell that the worst was over. That's until another came crashing down, nearly killing his father.
I hear my sister screaming, crying. My mom is saying my dad died, that he just got crushed by the tree. It was terrifying to hear that. It was really terrifying.
As help came to the rescue, it wasn't clear if Trejo's father was alive.
Yeah, it was a volunteer, I think. He came in, he went up there. I said, "Is my dad all right?" He says, I don't want to be too dishonest with you, but it doesn't look too good. My heart, man, I couldn't take it no more. But, you know, I had to take up for my dad, right? And I had to be a man and try to help my family through this tough time.
Luckily, after he was dug out of the rubble and checked out by a doctor, Trejo's father walked away with just minor scratches. The family, like many in the park, doesn't know where to go from here.
Can't do anything until they end up taking care of these trees. I just feel like there isn't enough action being done right now. I mean, we have neighbors over there cutting up their trees so they don't get any more damage, but meanwhile, us, we really can't do anything but just try to go in there and get all the stuff out, you know. I don't know.
In Muscle Shoals, I'm Josiah Elmore, News 19. Alabama is joining more than 12 states who are pushing similar requirements for their public schools. I spoke to several people about this issue today to see what they think about the 10 Commandments being displayed in schools. 2 Alabama bills are now awaiting a vote on their respective sides of the legislature. If passed, Senate Bill 166 and House Bill 178 would require Alabama schools to display the 10 Commandments. Several people I spoke with Sunday agree with these bills.
To me, the 10 Commandments, God itself displays itself, love. So if we can put love back into the schools, to me, that's what the 10 Commandments to me does.
Anytime that you're taking God out, that we're at a big disadvantage to our kids, especially when we see what's going on in today's society. And the only way that we can get our kids back and save our kids is to teach them and train them about God.
Other supporters tell me that God is ingrained into our society and say that the 10 Commandments should be treated the same.
On the back of every single note that we have with our money on it, it says, "In God we trust." I hope that this bill is passed. We need that.
While others say they aren't fully on board.
I think I can only support it to some degree, not 100%. I think, again, it needs to be more inclusive to everyone. So
saying other religious documents should be included.
Maybe, Buddhism or Hinduism document, or, any kind of representation, just so everybody in a school can feel like they can represent who they are and they feel like they do belong to be there, instead of it just being this certain demographic of people.
Some faith leaders oppose the bill, saying it puts teachers in an awkward position.
They are putting up a poster without context, without explanation, without any understanding of why this is here.
Louisiana signed a similar bill into law in 2024, but it has been blocked by a federal judge. Conradi says she expects a similar result should these bills be passed in Alabama.
But we will continue to push against it until we have a resolution that protects the religious freedom of all Alabama families.
If this bill passes through the legislature, it would head to Governor Kay Ivey's desk to be signed into law. Schools would then have until January 1st, 2026 to comply with it. Tigers are the 2025 Class 6A state champs after taking games 2 and 3 of the 3-game series against Chelsea on Thursday here at Jacksonville State University. A large part of the Tigers' success came from the performances of Asher Dupel in games 2 and 3. Dupel pitched 7 2/3 innings over the 2 games Thursday, striking out 6 and allowing just 3 runs. Adding 5 hits and 3 RBIs at the plate, the performance earned him championship MVP.
You know, he's our little spark plug. I think everybody around the program, the school and high school baseball that knows our program now for this year, he's been our little spark plug. And, you know, there's a lot of guys I trust with the ball, and there's just a couple that you trust a little bit more, and he's that guy. And
the junior was a part of what was an undescribably hard week for the Tigers in 2024. The first lost their longtime head coach, William Booth, and then they fell in the championship series. But as the saying goes, tough times make tough people. And the foundation Coach Booth built taught these young men to embrace that.
It's been hard work and kind of blue-collar baseball. And we outlasted teams and all the off-season stuff. I mean, that's just always been part of the culture. To 2 days and long lifts and practices, stuff like that.
The hard work paid off for the right-hander who had the endurance to throw 125 pitches Thursday.
I don't feel anything now, but probably will here in a couple hours. But no, it was fun. That's what I wanted. I wanted that situation. I love it.
As he did all year, Dupel led his team, this time capping off with a state championship.
it's infectious, and it's every time he toes the rubber or he's in the box or whatever the case may be, it's super infectious, and for our guys to be locked on him for the last 7 innings of that game and really, you know, the first game as well, that's what I wanted to see right there, and that's what I wanted them to see as well, because they could feed off of it.
In Jacksonville, Josiah Elmore, News 19 Sports. Brian Mann left the Morgan County Courthouse in handcuffs Thursday morning after a jury convicted him of the attempted murder of his wife, Hannah. Jurors deliberated for about 45 minutes Thursday after 2 hours of deliberations on Wednesday. When Judge Charles Elliott read out the verdict, the victim, Hannah Mann, was overcome with emotion, while the defendant, Brian, showed little to no emotion.
That everyone pretty much knew that he had done it, but kind of like with the OJ case, there's not enough direct evidence. And so I honestly wasn't expecting to get as emotional as I did. He had kind of glanced over at me when the guilty verdict was announced, and I just kind of lost it from there.
The verdict comes after 2 days of testimony. During the trial, the state argued Brian poisoned Hannah with lead with the intention of cashing out life insurance policies worth almost $1 million upon her death. Brian's defense attorney, Chad Morgan, argued that the state had assumptions, but no solid evidence that his client had done anything wrong. Both sides rested their cases Wednesday. The defense did not call any witnesses, a choice Morgan says wasn't wise.
It's a decision that was a team decision. Brian was involved in that. He's the one that makes the call on all that mostly. We put together something at lunch yesterday, was trying to figure out what we needed to do. We decided to make that call, and obviously it wasn't the right call.
Hannah says that regardless of the verdict, it was going to be tough for everyone involved.
It's not necessarily a win for either side, either way the outcome would be, because the families, his family, you know, we have children. It's tough. It would be tough either way.
Mann is set to be sentenced on August 27th. The state says they'll seek the maximum penalty against him. In Decatur, I'm Josiah Elmore, News 19.